This time, you and your two friends will finally reveal the secret of the Boogeyman Inn. But the thing is, you may end up regretting it. A relaxing dark fantasy horror story. The Secret of Boogeyman Inn, Part 4. A quick thank you to my Patreon members who make these stories possible. Join my Patreon to get early access and more. Link in the description. This is a Birger Tale. Previously on Birger Tales, in room 1408 of the supposedly haunted Boogeyman Inn, you, the human paladin Gina, and the halfling wizard 𝗃𝗏 stand in front of the oxblood-colored floral wallpaper between your broken bed and the bunk bed. And as you stare into the wall's gaping black hole that looks just like an open maw of a hungry crocodile monster, Gina utters, "I think we just found the secret of the Boogeyman Inn." If you gaze for long into an abyss, the abyss gazes also into you. Is the gaping black hole, the wall of room 1408, such an abyss? As you and your two friends stand closer to the hole in the wall, you see darkness, shockingly enough, but you also see something else, thanks to the flickering candles belonging to room 1408's black and monster-shaped floor chandeliers. You see something glimmering, something golden, and as your eyes adjust to the darkness of this mysterious and creepy abyss, you can slowly make out a golden chest. 𝗃𝗏 whistles with amazement as he adjusts his green ale-pint-shaped glasses. "Oh, so the secret was a treasure after all," 𝗃𝗏 exclaims. "I've actually been secretly hoping that all this time. Secretly hoping something about the secret doesn't happen every day now, eh? Secret. 𝗃𝗏 lifts both of his hands into the air and bends all of his fingers into the form of two ducks, and with the help of the shadows of the room's candlelight, 𝗃𝗏 starts its very own shadow theater. "What did you secretly think about the secret then, oh high and mighty secret keeper?" the right-handed duck says. "Well, it's a secret, duh. Of course I can't tell you about it, you silly," the left-handed duck replies. "You see, this secret is even more secret than the most secret. Is that so?" the right-handed duck replies. "Of course," the left-handed duck continues. "It's even more secret than my grandma's secret stash of 𝗃𝗏 freezes for a moment as he notices you and Gina staring at him and his two-hand ducks. 𝗃𝗏 swiftly lets his hands fall to his sides as he clears his throat and swiftly runs his fingers through his ruffled brown hair. "Anyway," 𝗃𝗏 quickly utters, embarrassedly, "I wonder how much the contents of that chest is." "Well, 𝗃𝗏," Gina interrupts, her yellow hoodie swaying with her words. "Right now, we don't know what that chest contains. It might be a treasure, but it could also be a trap or even old laundry." "Party pooper," 𝗃𝗏 mutters as he folds the arms of his green and brown outfit. "Sorry, 𝗃𝗏," Gina replies with a half smile. She tilts her head to the side as blonde strands of her hair cover one of her lapis blue eyes. "But I'd suggest we use caution," Gina continues as she swiftly brushes her long blonde hair away from her eyes. Her eyebrows wrinkle as she intently stares on the mysterious chest in the black hole in the wall. "This golden chest was purposefully hidden behind this wall. A wall of a random inn room, no less. So I'd say the likelihood that this chest is a trap, or is at least booby-trapped by its paranoid owner, is very high. Yeah, you're right as usual, 𝗂𝗏. 𝗃𝗏 answers with a grin as he eyes you behind his green ale-pint-shaped glasses while scratching his nose. 𝗂𝗏's the thinker and I'm the doer, so what do you suggest we do, 𝗂𝗏? Let's examine it first, 𝗂𝗏 answers as she eyes the chest more intently. Her lapis blue eyes sparkle slightly in yellow candlelight. As she does, the silver on her magical silver sword, 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗁, that she now has strapped onto her back with a brown belt. There's symbols covering the outside of the chest, 𝗂𝗏 continues as she places a pointing finger and thumb against her chin. 𝗃𝗏, our very own in-house wizard, have you seen these symbols before? 𝗃𝗏 replies as he bends forward to get a better look. With a pointing finger and a thumb on his chin, just like 𝗂𝗏, he answers. Those are sigils. They're definitely magical, but I've never seen them before. Which means? 𝗂𝗏 slowly asks. It means, 𝗃𝗏 replies with a sigh, scratching his ruffled brown hair, that these sigils are of a higher and more powerful grade than I am familiar with. And that kinda sucks, because what it really means is I don't know how to handle them. 𝗃𝗏 finishes, scratching his brown hair even more intently while pressing his teeth together annoyedly. It's okay, 𝗂𝗏 continues with a soft smile. I'll try reading the energy of the chest instead then. 𝗂𝗏 finishes as she reaches out an open hand towards the mystery golden chest in the gaping black hole in the wall. The golden chest gives off a faint glow as she does. 𝗂𝗏 then quickly retreats her hand. With a gaze fixed on her open palm, in a muted state, she appears to be pondering something. Her blonde hair slowly brushes against her face as she bends her head downwards and lets her other hand rest against one side of her yellow hoodie. An uncomfortable silence envelops you and your party within the gloom of the Boogeyman Inn's room 1408. The candlelight shadows dancing on the 𝗃𝗏𝗿 colored floral wallpaper starts to grow even thicker. Well, 𝗃𝗏 says, finally breaking the uncomfortable silence. He shakingly adjusts his green ale-pint-shaped glasses as he awaits 𝗂𝗏's answer. This is almost like when we were about to enter Greenwich Woods, 𝗂𝗏 answers. Almost, you say? 𝗃𝗏 asks. Yes, I don't recognize this energy either, just like back then, 𝗂𝗏 replies. But this time, I'm afraid it's even worse. 𝗂𝗏 reaches one of her hands towards her back and starts tapping the handle of her silver sword 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗁 with some of her fingers. As she does, her sword's silver casts glimmering reflections on her yellow hoodie. In the darkness and candlelight, her yellow hoodie sticks out like a single yellow star in a black night sky. Dang it! It's even worse, she says. Typical, 𝗃𝗏 mutters while rolling his eyes. Just give it to us straight. I can't handle the suspense any longer, 𝗃𝗏 frustratedly states, throwing his green and brown arm sleeves into the air. Well, 𝗂𝗏 answers. The Greenwich Woods energy I didn't recognize. This energy I don't even feel at all. What? 𝗃𝗏 exclaims in shock as he jumps back a few steps, protecting himself with both of his arms. That's never happened with your energy reading powers before, 𝗂𝗏, 𝗃𝗏 finishes. Yes, 𝗂𝗏 replies. We've really gotten ourselves in a pickle this time. The fact that I can't even feel this energy, plus that you, 𝗃𝗏, deem this golden chest to be magical, must mean that the chest is magically concealed somehow, hidden away from us, 𝗃𝗏 sighs. with no means to get our hands on it. Behind Frogrin's green ale-pint-shaped glasses, he slowly closes his eyes. I guess that's it, huh? Frogrin utters with a deep sigh as he sits down on the blood-red carpet of room 1408, letting all his weight fall down with him. After an even deeper sigh, he gloomily whispers in a low tone, "We're forced to leave the Boogeyman Inn without even revealing his mysterious secret, aren't we?" Frogrin finishes as he meets your gaze and then Gina's gaze. Frogrin expressionlessly stares at the floor, and then there's a tingling behind your right ear. You see a feminine hand with a yellow hoodie's arm sleeve, Gina's hand, and in it a blue crystal. Your vision gets dark for a second, and you see Frogrin absent-mindedly sitting on the blood-red carpet of room 1408. Then darkness again, and you see something light blue shining out of one of Frogrin's green and brown pant pockets. And you're back, standing once again on the blood-red carpet of room 1408, surrounded by dark shadows and the room's oxblood-colored floral wallpaper. You can see strands of energy in your favorite color leaving your mind. Energy that quickly travels into both Gina's and Frogrin's minds. "Ah, of course!" Gina exclaims as Frogrin swiftly stands up. "You got our friend's vision too, Gina?" Frogrin asks. Gina nods, her blonde hair moving like silk along her skin. "Well, I was wondering when you get another vision, friend," Frogrin continues, with his green ale-pint-shaped glasses locked with yours. "Since it hasn't really happened on this miscommunication so far." That settles it. As you may recall, your powers of foresight visions stopped working as soon as you entered the Boogeyman Inn, except for that one vision in which you were shown that you were the reason that the rainbow light of Gina's silver sword 𝗃𝗓 was activated. That vision, however, didn't traverse into your companions' minds. Only you saw it. But now, your vision appears to finally be working properly again. Whatever happened, or whatever powers that were blocking your visions before, must have stopped or left somehow. "And no, Frogrin," Gina states determinedly, "we've come too far to leave the Boogeyman Inn now." Frogrin swiftly raises his hand. "And thanks to our friends' helpful powers," Gina gives you an appreciative nod and a warm smile as she continues. "Now, we just need some help, that is all. You still have that audio crystal of yours, right, Frogrin?" In Gina's hand, the light blue light coming from Frogrin's blue audio crystal casts sea wave-like shadows across the oxblood-colored floral wallpaper of room 1408. This gives the room a feeling of floating just below the surface of the deep blue sea. "This kinda sucks," Frogrin chips in, "but I don't know if it's because of this place or because I simply forgot to charge it, but we only have a few moments of magic left in my audio crystal, so we need to be quick," Frogrin says while scratching his cheek embarrassedly. "Thanks, Frogrin," Gina answers. "We'll keep that in mind." Gina, you and Frogrin stare at the blue audio crystal as it hums and vibrates until a face appears on its surface. "𝗂𝗏 𝗂𝗏, says a green-skinned woman in her 30s, dressed in a black witch hat and black robes. On the audio crystal's surface, her face moves super close, which makes her deep orange eyes look huge. She squints her eyes for a moment. "Oh!" the woman then exclaims, as she suddenly disappears out of view. She quickly returns with a pair of square-shaped black glasses equipped. Even though she is not as close to the crystal's surface now as she was before, those square-shaped glasses still make her eyes look huge regardless.
Well, hi there, my pretties,
the green-skinned woman exclaims with a heartfelt smile.
Gina, Frogrin, and my third friend,
the green-skinned woman utters as she fixes her gaze with yours.
To you, my dear pretties. I'm just 𝗂𝗏, of course.
𝗂𝗏 winks playfully.
How are you?
Well, we're kind of in a predicament, unfortunately, Gina answers nervously. And our audio crystal is almost out of magic.
I see.
𝗂𝗏 replies.
No time for small talk then. Another time. Ever since you folks helped me realize that Greenwich Woods needed some more light, there's actually been more visitors here. And they even call the forest 𝗂𝗏's Woods now, which is pretty neat. Couldn't possibly think you had anything to do with that now, did ya?
𝗂𝗏 winks, but then quickly freezes for a moment. She taps her forehead with one of her green fingers.
Right, no small talk. What do you need, my pretties?
𝗂𝗏 finishes as she fixes her enormous deep orange eyes with yours. We have a chest in front of us covered in sigils, Gina answers.
Okie dokie, show it to me, lass.
𝗂𝗏 replies, and Gina quickly turns the blue audio crystal towards the golden chest in the hole in the wall. 𝗂𝗏's enormous deep orange eyes turn even larger.
Those sigils are...
𝗂𝗏 exclaims in shock.
Wait, it shouldn't be a problem unless...
𝗂𝗏 looks to the side as she scratches her green nose for a moment.
Did you find anything else odd about this chest?
𝗂𝗏 asks cautiously. Yes, Gina's words get stuck in her throat for a moment.
Just relax, Gina. I'm here.
𝗂𝗏 soothingly replies.
I'm normally pretty efficient when it comes to reading energies, but this energy, I can't feel it at all. Oh!
𝗂𝗏 exclaims, shocked, as the square-shaped black glasses almost jump off her face. Gina covers her mouth with one of her hands and gasps.
Is it bad?
Frogrin asks.
Unfortunately, very much so.
𝗂𝗏 continues.
Concealed magical energies, paired with those specific magic sigils, are both a clear sign of one of the most powerful kinds of magic in existence. This particular magic is of the black magic kind too, I'm afraid. You're in way over your heads this time, my pretties, so I'm really glad you decided to call this old witch here. Just a moment.
On the surface of the audio crystal, you see 𝗂𝗏 lift up both of her green hands, twirling her green fingers around in a rhythmic fashion. The golden chest vibrates, and a faint and transparent green glow first covers the chest. As 𝗂𝗏 starts mumbling words you've never heard before, the green light grows brighter and brighter until the whole inside of room 1408 has turned a bright green. Then a soft click, and in the next second the room is dark again, and the monster-shaped floor chandelier shadows are once again dancing the 𝗃𝗏𝗿-colored wallpaper, just like before.
There!
𝗂𝗏 utters proudly as she brushes her hands together as if getting rid of old dust.
All the black magic is gone, so you can open that chest now. Just like that?
Frogrin exclaims, with his palms placed at the top of his head, at the same time as you see Gina's jaw drop to the floor and her lapis blue eyes widen.
Just like that?
𝗂𝗏 casually answers.
You'd be surprised what a couple of 100 years of magic practice can do.
𝗂𝗏 winks playfully.
That was so cool!
Frogrin exclaims, with his arms reached high in the air.
Thanks, Frogrin.
𝗂𝗏 smiles and nods proudly, while casually shaking out her black nails. I'd like to be like you one day, 𝗂𝗏, Gina utters, with her hands clasped together appreciatively.
Ah,
𝗂𝗏 utters, as her cheek's green hue turns dark green.
I'm sure you will be, Gina. Oh!
𝗬𝗏 exclaims with one of her green fingers in the air.
I must ask, where are you currently?
We're at the Boogeyman Inn, close to the village of 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲. Why? Gina answers curiously.
What? Of all the places! You need to get out of there right now, because...
𝗬𝗏 manages to say just before her face and voice fades away, and the blue audio crystal's light blue light slowly dims. Gina's and 𝗃𝗏's eyes slowly widen in the same pace as the blue light dims, till the audio crystal turns completely dark. And as soon as that happens, there's a tingling behind your right ear. Little did you know, but this vision will actually reveal the terrifying secret of the Boogeyman Inn. This time, you and your two friends will finally reveal the secret of the Boogeyman Inn. But the thing is, you may end up regretting it. Before I reveal the secret to you, 𝗃𝗏𝗏, if you like my storytelling, hit subscribe for a potato. But also so you won't miss any of my upcoming stories or reading ambience videos. You can also get some free stories and weekly podcast teasers hosted by Gina and 𝗃𝗏 by becoming an official member of the Tales tribe. You do that by subscribing to Birger Tales newsletter at 𝗃𝗏𝗿𝗧.com. Check out the link in the description or in the pinned comment below. I look forward to welcoming you into the official Tales tribe. And now, let's finish this story. If you gaze for long into an abyss, the abyss gazes also into you. As soon as that familiar tingling behind your right ear stops, you stare right into that very same black abyss. In other words, into the gaping black hole in the wall of room 1408 of the Boogeyman Inn. And within it, you see that the golden chest that was previously concealed with black magic stands open. And within the chest, there is just one item, a magic scroll. Your vision flashes, and the golden chest suddenly stands empty. But what lies in front of the chest is the most terrifying, because just by the opening of the black abyss in the wall now lies the blurry vision of a person, male or female, hard to tell. But one thing is for certain, this person is dead. To be continued. Click or tap the screen here to watch another dark fantasy story from Birger Tales. Check out free stories and get early access with the links in the description or the pinned comment below. And a special thank you to all of my Patreon members who made this story possible.